All right, guys, closing thoughts on the new Reebok Nano X1 that I've been testing for the last week. In my previous video, I gave you a lot of feedback from just right out of the box perceptions about the shoe and what it felt like to first put it on. And now I've had a chance to train in it, so I want to run that by you. So if you missed a previous video, just to catch you up briefly, is that this is the Reebok Nano X1 that they released early to Reebok Unlocked Access members. This is the Haley Adams edition that has the custom markings on the heel, the Do Not Disturb logo on the inside, on the insole, which I thought was pretty cool. And this has the knit upper in this shoe, not the grit upper, which will also be available in the X1s as they are released here soon. So just going through the modalities, I had a chance to really hit just about anything and everything you can throw at a shoe in 1 week. So I wanted to just kind of give you some feedback on how that went for me. So starting with getting under a heavy barbell, I spoke to that just a little bit in my last video. And again, the heel to toe drop in the X1 is a little bit greater than the X. So it feels a little less forgiving if you get into your toes on a squat. But it's something that I got used to really quick. It's just a different feeling shoe in really just about every way. So it just takes a little bit of getting used to, now that I've trained in it for about a week. If I was going to continue to go forward with everything that I do in CrossFit in an X1, I'd be just fine. I'd adapt just fine, just like every other shoe that's come out from Reebok, really, when it comes to the Nanos. So squatting, no issue. For any of you that have concerns about the float ride technology being in a Nano and squatting and things like that, however Reebok did it, I just want to say kudos to Reebok because they were able to take the float ride technology and put it into a Nano that gives you the comfort for running but does not become too squishy for squatting. It's still a very stable platform shoe. So really impressed there with how they were able to pull that off. To put on my float ride shoe side by side with a Nano X1, they do not feel anything the same, but neither does putting on a Nano X side by side with the X1 feel the same. They found some really impressive middle ground there, I think, when it comes to this shoe. So speaking of kind of the float ride and running and things like that, one of the earliest workouts I did this week in the X1 was a running workout. I did some intervals that totaled up to about 3 miles worth of running on the Assault Runner, and I just decided to do the whole thing in the X1 and just see how it works because the runs were 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off of run and bike. So going back and forth with that, no more than 3 minutes on the Assault Runner. So we're talking, somewhere, 500 meter, ish, 600 meter runs, I think is what I was coming out at a moderate pace on the Assault Runner. So held up great. If you've ever broke in a new running shoe, maybe the first day or two of running, your feet are a little sore, maybe a little rub spot here and there from, running distance in a new shoe. And I didn't get any of that with the X1. So that was good as well as far as feedback goes on my body. Moving into some CrossFit stuff when it came to body weight type stuff where you want your feet to be lighter and moving quicker. Just starting with gymnastic stuff, hanging from a bar like toes to bars. Definitely lighter in the feet, and the toes to bars were easier to come by in greater sets. Whereas, hip flexors and thighs and things like that start to fatigue a little bit, when you have a little bit of a heavier shoe like the X. So the X1 was good in that. Double unders. I had a huge double under workout yesterday, which actually felt really good. The jumps were just smoother and softer, and you're kind of in your toes mostly on that workout, and that's that front half of the shoe that is just different than an X or previous versions of the Nano. So that was kind of interesting feedback there as well. Burpees. I did burpees over the bar, burpee box jump overs, and burpee box get overs up to 48 inches boxes, and in all those movements, legs were lighter. Did not fatigue in the hip flexors and stuff, trying to get my 6'2" butt up off the ground and over an obstacle. So, the fatigue was there, certainly, but it seemed like it set in maybe just a little bit later, and I was just a little softer on the landing on the box and the landing on the ground. It's just, again, it's a shoe that's just much different than the X. Let's see. So that's squatting heavy, that's gymnastics, that's body weight type stuff. Had a chance to do some sled pulls in it too, held up great. Oh, rope climbs is the other big thing. So I was a little concerned as I kind of thought with the knit upper that the rope going over the top of that shoe might just, kind of be grounds for maybe a little rope burn type-ish feeling on the top of my foot or something. And I'll tell you, the shoes are fantastic for rope climbs. No issue whatsoever. So I climbed the rope a couple different ways, a couple different foot lock techniques just to see if it mattered. It didn't at all. I thought that I got up the rope
easier than I do in the X because of the tread on the X1 is just a little grippier, and I really felt like I got up easier. But coming down was just as smooth. I didn't have any issue with the shoe maybe trying to grab too much on the rope on the way down. So this is a good shoe. Will I use it as my everything shoe for everything going forward? No, I like the X, and I'm even trying to get my hands on the X Unknown in my size. It was just a brand new fashion type sense for Nano and Reebok, and I like it. I'm kind of rolling with that right now aesthetically. But as a training shoe, we'll see what versions of the X1 come out, from a fashion sense. And I'm sure I'll probably pick up another one here later into 2021 and start to roll as my X's become worn out. I'll roll into the X1 in that sense. But it's a good shoe. And Reebok did a good job with it. So if you're on the fence about whether to get it or not, I think if you were concerned about the X or any other shoe before that and the Nano being too heavy, this is your shoe. Don't be concerned at all with any of the float ride technology. I promise you, you won't be disappointed in that. But this is a very different shoe. I feel like heel to toe, they have completely went back to the drawing board and produced a very new shoe for us in the Nano. So if you got any other questions or whatever, specifically hit me up in the comments. And as always, be sure to like this video or hit subscribe to my channel. I appreciate that. It gives me a chance to just be inspired to continue to produce content that's helpful for you all. So until then, we'll see you soon.